Hi, I'm Natalia,
And I'm Leslie Marie,
and this is a We Are Fashionably Late podcast,
where we talk about the clothing we wear and the untold but very true stories about why we wear what we wear.
Am I wearing the same outfit as girl bands or no K-pop?
K-pop.
Yes I am. But when we had filmed the interview, I was wearing this outfit that had been pre-filmed.
Yeah, let me look.
2 weeks past the K-pop. So technically I didn't wear it at the same time. I didn't wear it the next day, so it ain't stinky. This is just my favorite outfit. Anyways, so
I'm not wearing the same thing. I'm wearing a hoodie, but I'm not wearing the same thing as when we did the interview.
No. She's wearing something. You want to tell her what you're wearing?
I went full skater. I went full skater because this is the thing. My inner heart, I am a skater.
Yes.
Did I try to learn how to skate and failed miserably? Yes, I did. Did I even have one of those little... no, I don't like it when it's in the front.
You look
like a boy.
Yeah.
I'm a tomboy, baby. Let's see. What was I gonna say? Did I fail miserably trying to learn how to skate? Yes, I did. Did I have like a mini skateboard though in the back of my car just in case when I was going to college?
You wanted to whip it out?
Because I wanted to whip it out? Yes. But did I ever use it? No, because I was afraid of face planting.
And we donated that to...
Anyways, I am wearing this beanie that Natalie gave me.
Leslie also just said what the title of the episode is, but you also read it, so...
Yeah. It's Skater today. Natalie gave me this. Best Christmas present ever. She's a great gift giver when I tell her what I want.
No, in general, I'm a great gift giver.
Yeah, sometimes. This is one of my many concert merch. This is from the Wallows concert. Absolutely loved their merch, and it's giving like skater Y2K, but it's funny because it's Wallows. Some baggy jeans, and then I'm gonna insert the picture of the shoes I wish I wore, which are, my mom used to call them tortas. But y'all know these chunky skater shoes. I have my Golas right now, which are great, but I feel like those give more, you know. They were just really dirty. And then yeah, so what are you wearing? You're the same.
Yeah, same thing. Just go back to K-pop.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just add the clip.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that is what we are wearing. Do we have anything for just a girl?
Yes, I do. Guys, I'm a little yapper today, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I
have been watching Rivals. If you are on TikTok, you know. This is how you do H-gap romance, guys. I'm sorry. I'm in love with the trope now. I get the hype. Also, that show is so good. You have David too, who's like, the way I like call him, like he's my best friend. You know, David. You have Aiden Turner, which we loved him from Pole Dark. I think that's also why I started watching it. And then the main character, the guy who plays Rupert, he was in the Red Sea Diving Resort or something like that with Chris Evans, which I watched it because of Chris Evans. Great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
But that show is so good. It's
really good.
Literally so good.
Yeah.
I can't even explain it. The girl who plays Taggy low-key reminds me of Florence Pugh, which I'm like, is she gonna be our next great actress? Probably.
Wobblebee.
Anyways, that show's so good. Go binge watch it. I am contemplating rewatching it, and I literally just finished it. Nallie's like judging my hair.
No, I haven't watched it, so maybe you can rewatch it with me.
Okay, I'm down.
But the thing is, I can't. This is my thing. I can't watch it like one day, one episode. No, I have to binge it. I feel like that's a show for me that I know I have to binge because I'm gonna get hooked on it. So I think that's the big thing.
So good.
So yeah.
So go watch it. Go do yourself a favor so we can get a season 2 because I need to know what happens. If you have already watched it though, and sorry, my hair. If you have already watched it though, guys, that ending, like it could have gone the typical way, but I knew that it wasn't gonna go the typical way. That ending, guys.
Yeah.
What happened to David or his character?
Harry was named by People Magazine Sexiest Musician of 2024.
Yeah. Did we talk about this last week?
I don't know. What's his face? Jeremy Allen White was Sexiest Tattoos.
Okay.
For 2024.
Yeah.
And then Sexiest... I don't know what he won, but the main character from season 2 of Bridgerton won something as well. I don't know what he won, but he was something as well that was iconic.
Another thing too, if you guys are book talk girlies like me, we had some book talk news. 2 things. This is if you're keeping up with the book talk for the shows or the movies, whatever, coming out. We had Dylan O'Brien talk about, funny story, guys.
He read it.
Guys, he read it. Guys.
He loves Emily Henry.
He's a fan.
So Emily Henry, do your thing.
If you guys were here last week,
we yapped about
this. We did. I told you.
We'll always yap about it.
Okay.
So
we were right.
When this video gets uploaded, this audio gets uploaded.
If we have any
video, audio, and we get the announcement that he is of it, we manifested it.
We did. You heard it here first. Folks.
First here. Okay, it doesn't matter if it was under the works. You heard it first here.
Secondly, we also had the girl who's gonna play the lead character in Bridgerton season 3. Is it season 3 already? 4, sorry. Which we all know we're excited about this season. I can't. He's my favorite book, favorite everything. Him and Eloise. Okay. Anyways, so we had her on the red carpet. I think she was promoting something else, but they asked her about Bridgerton, what she could say about it. All she said, guys, is that he is giving Mr. Darcy. Guys, the hand flex. Guys.
That's all.
So all the stars are aligning for all of our book talk girlies. Go watch the shows. Go read the books. It's fall time. Get yourself a nice cup of tea. I don't know why my hands keep doing this.
I don't know either.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It's fall time. Cozy season. We love it.
And that's a wrap for I'm Just a Girl.
Let's start off with the history of skating. Again, I feel like this was a very early 2000s trend. We've seen it in streetwear, but how did it become something that was like streetwear to we've seen it on the runway, guys. We've seen it on the runway.
Seen it in
we've seen it in Vogue.
Industry. We've seen it in the street style. We've seen it everywhere.
Yes, we have. So first, let's talk about skateboarding itself, right? How did it start? Why did it start? What's all this about? If you guys aren't unfamiliar with the sport, because it is a sport. So it has a very rich and vibrant history, right? That goes through several decades. But basically, it's kind of a pastime from surfers. So when they weren't able to like ride the waves because, you know, the weather, they kind of practiced, or they really just like wanted to get that feeling again, and so they did it, but with skateboarding, which is so interesting that it's derived. Is that the right word, or is that a college?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. I mean,
so sorry. Basically, it's all about the roots of surfing, how that transitioned into skateboarding, right? So obviously it had its influences in the 1950s from surfing, but the first skateboards were wooden and they were handmade, right? Again, because it was in the 1950s, it was very much still about surfing. But the popularity for it kind of started in the 1960s, where it became like these boards were more commercially manufactured, meaning that you could buy them, not have to make them. So it moved from DIY to like an actual
produced.
Then in the 1970s, we had new skateboarding innovations, and so this had a lot to do with like the designs. It had to do with the material that was used. So they used polyurethane for the wheels, which helped with like the grip, and it just helped with like moving, so like with them being able to like do tricks, because it became more of like a sport. It was still like very leisurely, but it became more of like, let's try to do tricks, let's try to innovate this and create this into something more. And then the culture also expanded, which again has a lot to do with the fashion and the music of it. I think that's ultimately how the trends kind of evolve and grow.
So you don't necessarily have to know how to skateboard, but you can give yourself the name of a skater boy or skater girl with just the way that you dress. Especially for Vans, because Vans is very like a big partner with like skateboarding, and like most of their gear is designated for skateboarders.
But we all wear it
now. Well, we
half
all
of
wear
us,
it.
more than half of us are not skaters, and we wear it.
And we wear it. My dad wore it.
Yeah, he was not a skater. He
was
thought
not.
he was,
But it was not.
but I am my father's daughter, and we do not know how to skateboard.
We do not have a skateboard.
Yeah, so it really had to do, and it's kind of interesting because it started with punk rock references. So people who would like listen to punk rock, dress a little punk rock, that kind of like group kind of also became associated with skating in a way.
Yeah.
Like there was like obviously like friendships and groups and like things like you'd meet up, which you can kind of tell in the clothing. There's a bit of punk influence, and obviously in like skater songs, skater music, it is more like rock. So yeah, and it had to do a lot with like the rebellious attitude. Then we started having like skate parks. So now it wasn't just something that you'd find a random park and like kind of DIY like tricks. Like now you actually had a park designed, which was pretty cool. But it's crazy because it also reached a decline during the 1970s because it also met with a whole bunch of safety concerns. So there was more restrictions with like, because it became like this like phenomenon that they kind of felt like they had a control in a way. So all of these restrictions kind of made it less appealing to people who were starting out. But then we had a renaissance in the 1980s, 1990s, more so the 1990s, which I feel like we know about amazing skaters who like, even if you've never skated before, like their name shows up, which we'll be talking about shortly. But yeah, so basically there was like a resurgence in skateboarding, and it started with vert skating in the 1980s, which is basically vertical skating, which has to do with like doing the ramp tricks and the pipeline tricks, which is like people like Tony Hawk, who are very well known for having like done those tricks and having pioneered the way for skateboarding. And then we have more of like a street skating, so it also became kind of this like in urban areas, like it became this kind of thing, like a social thing that people would do. And then in 1995, not only the year that I was born, but it was also the year
the queen who was born.
But it was
the passenger princess.
Me. But it was also the year that the X Games were born. So if you know anything about anything, this
is the most important.
Yes.
Lester was born 1995.
That too. But this is more mainstream, and it became like a boost in popularity because people started wanting to watch the X Games, which is in a way kind of like their Olympics. But we'll talk about the Olympics and skating more. But yeah, then in early 2000s, Y2K baby, we have the globalization now. It wasn't just like something that was known in the urban, areas. It became global, and we had brands like Vans, and we had more partnerships with skaters like Tony Hawk. And so it became more of a professional sport. So you had professional skateboarders, and it even reached Olympic recognition, right? So we know now that obviously if you watch the Summer Olympics, skating is one of them, but it started with the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, where they were able to take it into the Olympics to that magnitude, which is kind of crazy to see it evolve from kind of like another sport and almost like just like a thing to do in the leisure time to now being global, being considered its own sport and its own genre of fashion in a way.
Wow, that bird.
Yeah, I heard that and it kind of creeps me out, and I was like, It gives, what is that book that has like the black crows?
I don't know.
It's one of the ones that Nelly won't read because she's scared.
I'm scared. And what?
It's literature.
And what's wrong?
Literature.
What's wrong with that?
All right, streetwear aesthetics, Natalie.
I might have zoomed in, so I'm just gonna talk right here, just because that mic was right down.
Was the mic even on?
I don't know, girl. You set up.
You didn't turn it on. Maybe.
It's dead. Oh no.
Oh no.
She didn't turn it on.
Sorry.
I will talk into this mic then.
Sorry, if you guys notice the difference
in the volume, it's because of Leslie. So I'm going to keep this right here while I wrap this little next topic up. We're going to wrap it wrap it
Speed fire,
in a
baby.
big little red ass bow because it's Christmas. Anyways, so the fashion influences in pop culture that are related to skateboarding. We have the streetwear aesthetics that we see in a casual comfort type of vibe, aka what Leslie is wearing. So it emphasizes a lot about comfort and functionality. As Leslie talked about, they get dirty, they get broken bones, they get hurt, they get this. And what is better for them than lighter clothes and a functional type of clothing item and garment? They can't be over here layering. They can't be over here with the biggest sweater or the biggest pants. Like, they gotta be light. Baby. This has everything to do with to weight, like engineering and all that shit. This has everything to do for them for skateboarding and completing their tricks. So loose fitting clothing allows a freedom of movement, so it can't be as tight. We have t-shirts, hoodies, baggy jeans, our staples in the skate fashion. Simply Miss Alvar Lavigne.
Yep.
She was a skater boy. See that music video. That's it. Then we have logos and graphics, especially skate brands often featured bold graphics. As a graphic designer, that is very much true. I like to always reference back to Vans. Vans's logo is very bold. It's very out there, and it is type of logo that you can see the outline of it and you know it is Vans. You can see this waffle type of
even the
heel sole. You know it's Vans. It's like they mark their thing of who they are as a brand, and that has everything to do with the logo and the apparel and the slogans as a brand. It like contributes to a very distinctive and recognizable aesthetic that we know. The skate shoes.
We have Nike SB. We have DC shoes.
We have Vans.
Which, let's talk about this. My tortas. My mom would call them tortas. They have been known for decades. My mom would gaslight me and be like, girl, why are you wearing that again? Like, me as like, you know, in elementary school, made fun of me about it. Then my grandma, love her, R.I.P. to both of you queens. She literally brings out pictures, brings receipts. Guess what my mother is wearing in the 1980s? Same exact shoes. That's all I'm saying. So they've been iconic for a really long time.
Finishing off with the streetwear, just because this next interview is very jam-packed with information from a skater himself. So we're just going to give you the rough of the woman of the fashion of everything. You have beanies, you have caps, okay, what Leslie's outfit is wearing. This offers a very practicality and style to what they're wearing. They have backpacks and bags that are functional, often featuring skate brand logo designs, and also essential for them carrying their like gear, their skateboard, their this. Especially if you know, when you're in college, you see people riding their skateboards. Sometimes they have those ties in the backpack to like hold the skateboard, you know, while they're going to class, you know. So they have that extra little thing that they need. So we have a lot of crossovers that we see influence in high fashion brands. This allows a lot of collaborations. This allows the luxury fashion houses to kind of open this demographic of streetwear, and that we often see in a lot of celebrities in their style. It made a lot of cultural impact in the music, in the arts, and the artistic expression, especially with people in their skateboards. They do a lot of either stickers, they customize it, they do artwork, they do all this different stuff. And then we just have a couple of celebrities that we do name in the interview, or our interviewee also names in the interview. So
without further ado, it is my pleasure to be interviewing the one and only, my cousin, Beto. We call him Beto. That's what we call him. He owns this brand, and he has been skating his whole life. So please enjoy this next part where he literally schools us in a good way about skateboarding. From a true skateboarder. Hello, welcome to someone very special, someone very we've known literally since we were in diapers. Like,
Thank
so
you,
this is Beto, my cousin. Beto, do you want to tell us a little bit about, you know, yourself, about the brand, you know?
Yeah, so about myself, technically Beto's a family exclusive name. You guys have the right.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. My name is Alberto Gonzalez, and about
Uh-huh.
myself is probably the big reason why I got invited here is I love skateboarding. Um, and yeah, it's kind of paved the way of like the person that I am today. It's kind of helped structure that. Like it's it involves a lot of my personal interests. It connects all my interests together. It has showed me how to be more sociable as a person. It has showed me how to just a lot of street smarts. Just it's kind of like there's so many things about it that's helped me become the person who I am. It's kind of I have so much to talk about where I don't know where to start from, but overall I love skateboarding. And since you mentioned the brand, I do have a brand. It's Safarisportsbrand. It's rooted from my other business. I have a shoe business where I sell shoes on eBay, website, everything, in-person pop-ups. But I would make merchandise for it. I would make t-shirts, make hats, like we'll just say the name. And it just got to a point where I noticed that I got a lot of sales, and I built a consumer base that strictly only waited for the clothes rather than shopping for the shoes. I'm like, okay, well now I have two different consumer bases: people who want just shoes, or people who just want the apparel. So I ended up splitting them up just so they, in a sense, kind of like separate. What's that term? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So
In one basket?
yeah.
Like multiple.
So now I have two baskets is my point. So so it's rooted from that. It's rooted from my shoe store, and it's all about just plain clothing that goes with what I say, almost everything. Very adaptable to any hobby, whether you play basketball, whether you skateboard. Of course, this graphic I'm wearing is skateboard related. I've done like hiking related merchandise. So it's all about just being an active person. Yeah, being an active person. People who are adventurous. So that's a bit about myself and my brand.
What was I gonna say? Do you get to like design all of it too, or do you have someone who helps you kind of design the merch and logos and stuff?
So I do and I don't. I think of something in my head and I draw it physically, and I send pictures to my graphic designer. Shout out to my graphic designer, Danny.
Shout out.
I'll draw something, whether it's on my iPhone or whether it's on a notepad. I'll be like, hey, can you make this into obviously a graphic? And then he'll send me rough drafts. We'll trade. Like, I like this. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And so technically this has been a drawing at one point, like on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And so technically I don't design them. I do cook up the ideas. And then my graphic designer will actually bring them to life.
I love that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think
Thank
that's
you,
really,
thank
really cool. Also, another thing too, I feel like we like dived into the questions, but another thing too, congrats on your engagement. I'm like,
Oh, thank you.
congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
feel like that's also like something special because it's like you're reaching a lot of like milestones too. So I think
Yeah,
that's really
thank
cool.
you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
You're like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How would you define like your style or your like current style influences that you have for yourself?
Yeah, is it like style icons or like from skaters, or is it just like everything kind of,
So by style, obviously you mean like clothing appearance?
Yeah, clothing, and then also like the way you design too, like your clothing, your brand.
Yeah. Okay, so as for my style appearance, it depends on what I do. So if I'm, how do I say, if I'm, just running errands, I'm just on the go, on my feet all day. I feel like I'm transitioning into that uncle phase, they call it. So I'm very sweatpants.
We're growing up.
Yeah, sweatpants, sweatshirt.
Las chanclas.
Yeah. Or athletic shoes that just go good with like any activity. As for more so like when I'm actually skateboarding, I do tend to, I wouldn't necessarily, because the thing about skateboarding and skateboarders is we do make our own trends, but we also kind of copy off each other. So At the moment, maybe you ladies have seen, but very wide cargos are in style. So I've been skating in those. That's what I tend to wear. I love to wear hats when I skateboard, and obviously casual wear. Like when we started this, I had it on. And as for a torso, I love like very like plain t-shirts. So and this is even when I'm like, I guess you say like dressed out. Like I tend to be plain. I try to keep logos minimal, and I kind of transition to that into my brand. I kind of wear what I like, if that makes sense. So I'm not very big on like having too much going on a piece of clothing. I'm very like small logos cool, whether it's in the middle, left side, right side. I'm very small logo. So how I transfer what I wear in my personal life is conveyed a lot
Which
through
I
my
feel
brand.
like translates too to your brand, because even like the shirt you're wearing, like I feel like you can tell, like it's almost like what you like to wear. You like
Yeah.
design it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like a lot going on, and well, no matter out of all the outfits that I mentioned, casual wear, errand wear, going out, I just like to keep it simple.
Like to keep it simple. We love that. Let's see. The other one. I know like during like this whole experience of skateboarding, you've gotten a lot of cool opportunities. You've even like recorded a couple of things. But have you met any skateboarders? Which I think you
Yeah.
have. Like I remember you posting something about a few.
Yeah, I've met several. There's two awesome things when it comes to interacting with like skateboarders a person could look up to, like in terms whether they're professional or amateur. There's opportunities to meet them. So there's two different opportunities. One is the very easy, very accessible way where brands like a let's say like a shoe company or a board company, they'll do events. So they'll have a meet and greet, a signing appearance at skate shops, or maybe even like a bigger like box logo retailer, like I don't know, like Nike. And they'll like promote it, like, hey, meet this person. They could be promoting a product, so get this person's new shoe, get it signed, get a photo with them. Or it'll just be like at a skate shop, like, hey guys, like this board brand will be in town. So that's a very accessible way, and it's very common. Of course, on the business side, it's their way of of promoting their brand. And those things tend to not be too packed, and like they do those often. So you go on, and then with like Instagram and social media, it's like these events are easier to promote. So you can meet who you want to meet at the right timing. But as for the other alternate version, other than signings and whatnot, is actually seeing them in action in the streets. So this is kind of more where I would prefer now, because those autograph events are kind of more based towards the younger fan base. And not to say that there's like an age limit to any of that, but me, that I've been in SoCal, there's so many of those things. I've been blessed to go to a lot, especially when I was a kid. So
Which is like exciting too, because you're just like, I get it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's super exciting. And now I just prefer, I kind of obviously I work a lot, and I probably wouldn't want to make time to just go line up here and wait to get this thing signed. But the other way is seeing them in the streets. So skateboarders tend to film and record their video footage that they need for video projects, for commercials, etc. And as long as you have a car, as long as you have a filmer, you can sometimes end up in the same spots as these professionals. So that's an experience I wanted to talk about to answer your question. So
Totally.
I remember LA is a boiling point for those who don't know. Skateboarders are there all the time. They live there. Brands are based out of there.
Yeah,
Everything's going on. Like if you want to make it in skateboarding, you
LA,
probably got to be in Los
for
Angeles.
sure.
So so this was in 2017 maybe. I was kind of more active in getting video projects done. And so so I went with a buddy. We went to go film at a high school called Westmont, or no, Belmont. Sorry, Belmont High School. That's a very popular spot. A lot of professionals go there. And again, I'm kind of at that time I was in my early 20s, so I tend to not really like talk to skateboarders like professional. like like, oh hey, I'm a big fan. We kind of now
You,
it's like
you
it's
just
kind of a
got,
code.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of a code. Like you can't really do that anymore.
yeah,
Oh well, like when you do it at an older age. So
yeah,
I get there and there was like a handful of professionals. I'm like, oh, this is cool,
yeah,
And I'm over here skate. A lot of them were off to the side on on lunch benches. They were just chopping it up. I don't know if they just finished, but there was another professional skating with me. He's from Poland. His name is Seva Krojko,
okay,
and yeah, like I was trying to get my trick on film, and I got it.
yeah,
And so yeah, obviously it's a big anytime you complete a trick, it's a big moment for you and your filmer because you guys made your times worth
yeah,
it,
you did
and the
what you
travel.
were setting out to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yes, Seva rose up to me. He's like, "Hey, did you get your trick?" And I was all like, I kind of like blacked out. I was
Yeah,
like,
you're like, you're talking to me? Yeah,
"Yeah." I was like, I did." He's like, "Yeah, man." Like he like gave me his fist, like pound it. He's like, "Yeah, it was really cool. You made it look cool." He was just complimenting me on it.
Love that.
He was like, "Yeah, you made it look cool. I'm glad you got it. I technically didn't see you land it, but I just saw you and your filmer like
proud
celebrating."
about
I'm
it.
like, "Yeah, I landed it.
Yeah.
Like, thank you." So I don't know. I thought that was cool because just very like how I mentioned a moment ago. Like I won't go up to talk to them, but in my head I'm like,
Yeah,
damn,
yeah,
these
haven't
guys are
talked
here.
to you.
Yeah.
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 So that was a cool experience.
Yeah.
It happened, yeah, like early 2017, so 7 years ago. But
Dang.
yeah, I'll still be running into them like again at these specific locations, but I would say I was a lot better when I was younger, so I'm not really
Yeah.
Yeah.
in this footage anymore.
Yeah, you're like, I was kind of like in my prime at that
That
time.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I feel
Exactly.
like also it's very like a collaborative sport. So even if you guys happen to be at the same skate park, you guys will kind of like cheer each other on type of thing.
Exactly. Yep. You hit the bullseye on that one. It's very selfless. It's very, hey, your wins are my wins. So
Yeah. I think it's really cool. I feel like that's why it's grown to be like the community that it is, which is really cool.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And with meeting people, is it true that you also met Tony Hawk as well?
Yes. So that one was. So I've met him twice.
Okay.
So there was this video premiere in 2015 called "We Are Blood."
Uh-huh.
Very hyped up video because the director Ty Evans, he used cameras that weren't introduced into movies yet. They barely started being, if I'm not mistaken, these cameras.
Uh-huh.
I think they're called the red cameras, but
Okay.
they're barely starting to get introduced into Hollywood. Probably some years back, but he hyped it up.
Yeah.
He's in the film industry himself. He had a lot of big corporations sponsoring the project. So technically, skateboarding is not as big of a market compared to other sports. Like your basketballs, your football. So the fact that like skateboarders were getting this
Like,
access to this technology first,
uh-huh.
everybody went to that premiere. It was at the Montalb. So forgive me if I say it wrong,
Yeah.
but the Montalban Theater.
Okay.
Or Montalban.
Yeah.
Every professional was there, and I was 19, so in my head I was like freaking out on some people, but there was a few that I did ask for photos, like, oh hey, like
Yeah.
And so yeah, again, everybody in the industry were there, professionals, brand reps, just everybody, filmers,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was all like, I'm over here like saying, like, okay, this person's here, who haven't I seen?
Yeah.
And so I told my buddy, I'm like, hey, you know what? Everybody's here but Tony Hawk.
Oh my gosh! Right when you said
And
it too.
yeah, exactly. And then I needed to go to the restroom. I don't think the film had
Uh-huh.
started yet. And I did go use the restroom. And yeah, I see a guy just chilling by himself. I'm like, that guy is tall.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's Tony Hawk. And so,
You were just
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. My buddy ended up going to the restroom too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like, hey, Jason, get my phone. I'm asking for a photo. He's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, like, Tony. And he was on his phone, so I felt bad for asking him. But I was like, hey, Tony, like, is it cool if I get a photo real quick? And he was like, yeah, sure, all nice about it. So that was cool. And then flash forward to the second time that I met him. It was at a charity event. It was the charity event was hosted by Nigel Houston and his mom.
Oh, okay.
And Tony's good friends with Nija, so he went there to support. And I technically didn't ask him for a photo, but I was there with my girlfriend, now fiance, and yeah, she thought he was pretty cool. Obviously, like even if you don't skateboard, I feel like a lot of people do know who he
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, I'd be down. I'm like, yeah, I'll ask for you. So yeah, I talked to him then
You're like, I already
the
know
following
him,
year.
so I'll do it for you.
Yeah, exactly. It was like I met him
I
already.
met
I'm
him.
kidding.
You're like, he's a chill guy.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think that's always like exciting too, because like you could like look up to them and then you see them and they're like just like normal and chill, and you're like, this is kind of crazy. It like blows your mind.
Yeah, they're real people too. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like, yeah, I feel like what's another like speaking of all of these like icons in skateboard, like what is an iconic like memory or core memory for like the history of skateboard that you've seen or that you've kind of like kept up with, you know? Like something that's current, I guess.
In person or it doesn't matter. Like if
You
I
could just,
saw it on
yeah, it
TV or
doesn't matter. You
something.
could do both,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say the Olympics.
Uh-huh.
I haven't obviously attended one. Obviously I see them on TV.
Yeah.
But I remember the first time I saw them, I couldn't believe it
Yeah.
because without getting too much into details, skateboarding is very like everything else. There's its politics side of it and or political side of it, and a lot of people aren't for it.
Yeah.
They're very like, no, we're very rebellious, we're very rule breaking for us to be organized into the Olympics, wear a uniform.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense, drug tested, etc.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side where I believe that it should.
Yeah.
And this may sound very biased, but I do believe it's the hardest
Yeah.
thing to do. I don't know if thing's the right word. Hardest sport, hardest activity.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you can't master it because there's so many different genres, and there's no real checklist for tricks to finish because you got to do those tricks on just the ground, on a quarter pipe, on this obstacle, that obstacle. You really can't finish skateboarding, and skateboarding is very physically demanding.
Yep.
We've learned, us as skateboarders, even if you're not professional, even if you're not amateur, you learn how to absorb pain. So,
Poke
we'll
bones.
jump downstairs, we'll, for like hours,
Yeah.
get beat up just to land a simple trick for the satisfaction of completing it. And, just having what's that term? But just having that, like,
Resilience almost, right? Like, to
yeah,
be able to,
that
like,
that promise to yourself to not leave without finishing this
this,
task that I have for myself.
like
No
a
one's forcing
commitment.
you to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's forcing you to do it. You want to do it for yourself, whether you're getting it on film or not. So, I think it's the hardest thing somebody could do. It requires a lot of balance. It requires pain tolerance. It requires patience, and overall, it's something where you can express yourself. So for us to technically have uniform and not have uniform is really cool because you have your organized sports, basketball,
Yeah.
soccer. You got to be in a team. You got to all wear the same thing. As for skateboarding, you can do all that I mentioned, but just express yourself by the way you dress. So I just really think the Olympics helps showcase that to the world that, like, look, there's these superhumans, do this almost every day, and not to talk down on anything else, but
Yeah. But you're like,
when these guys fall, they don't take 2 weeks off, 1 month off. These guys get back up and finish what they started. So
for sure.
I'm just happy that I was alive to witness it get into the
Yeah.
Olympics. Because again, I just think it's the hardest. So I think that's like the most iconic thing that I've witnessed
Yeah.
as a fan, as a skateboarder itself is just awesome. And like I mentioned a moment ago, like or kind of we've kind of constructed together, like another skateboarder's wins is our wins as well. So even if obviously I'm rooting for USA when it does happen, but
Yeah.
even when obviously Japan has won gold twice,
Yeah.
it's still an honor to see just the sport in general just progress and getting its like overdue respect.
Yeah.
I think like broadcasted worldwide now.
That's
that
also
more
special.
people can
Mhm.
see it and understand the
sport of it,
Mhm.
yeah. And I think also how you were saying, like, I think it's also interesting in the sense that it's like it comes also from surfing in a way, and like if that can also kind of get its like time to shine, I think it's also nice to now see also skateboarding getting that like kind of momentum going, which I think it's also like how you said, it's very like a disciplined kind of thing, but it's almost something that you put on yourself type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You put it together perfectly.
Have you broken? I mean, I know you have, but like, what was like some like your arm or your legs that you broke and you kind of like it was like a hard recovery, I guess, you know, or it was like the most brutal fall that you had.
Okay, so I've never broken anything. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
and I'm kind of ashamed of it, as funny as it sounds.
Okay.
Because, yeah, usually when you break
You're
something,
like, I'm not a real skateboarder.
yeah, usually when
Yeah.
you break something, it obviously signifies you're trying something extremely dangerous. But again, there's several genres in skateboarding, and unfortunately, I'm not in the stair set genre. Well, actually, that's not a genre
Okay.
itself. It's street skating, but I wish I could jump down stuff like I used to.
Uh-huh.
So to answer your question is back in 24 oh a decade ago, 2014, um,
Wow.
I was trying to kickflip a set of stairs,
Uh-huh.
and I have it on Instagram, but yeah, I'm ollieing it. That's like everybody's warm up trick when they're like jumping off something and just an ollie. Ollieing it several times. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna commit to these kickflips, and I keep,
Yeah.
almost getting it, and then yeah, I think I had almost landed it, but it just turns into a double ankle roll because my foot. So this is supposed to be the nose of my board. My foot went in front of the board, so it landed on the
Oh,
both
that
things
didn't
landed on the
go.
cement, and while my foot was planted, my board kept going. So my
Yeah.
foot, in a sense, got ran over,
Okay.
and
By
yeah,
the
my ankle
skateboard.
just kept going, and I don't even
Oh my
I've rewatched that video so many times. I don't know how I rolled the back ankle too, but the other one just rolled
Yeah.
itself, so I had like a double ankle roll. But this one, I'm surprised how it didn't break. It went under the board,
Yeah.
and then yeah, my body kept moving forward, so I felt like it
See,
broke.
that's the one I saw that I thought that you had broken your
Yeah,
ankle. That's why I was like, I think it's that one. Because, yeah,
yeah, I
that's
thought I broke
crazy.
it, but nothing. I mean, it was I don't know if it was sprained, but it was super purple and
Uh-huh.
fat. And
It's swollen.
at the moment, it felt like it was on fire. It just felt like heat. And in the
Yeah.
video, yeah, I'm like, I think I broke it. I think I broke it. And I just started standing up because I didn't know if I broke
Yeah.
it, but I couldn't. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
couldn't put weight on it. And then yeah, obviously like my friends had their own little cameo in it on like telling me what to do, like like don't walk on it, etc. So
Get eyes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that made me not want to do stairs. I've tried them again. I've done a smaller set, but I'm like, damn, like I can't really jump off stuff. Like, it's all mental. So I'm like, I don't want that to happen
Yeah.
again. I think I went back probably like half a year later, and I just couldn't do it. I think I ollie the same step. I could do the most basic trick off stairs, but
Uh-huh.
that injury alone, even though I didn't break it, I felt like I did. But
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you kind of like psyched yourself out and you're like, yeah, no, I'm
yeah, I'm
not
like,
gonna.
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want to do this again. So kind of ashamed to
Yeah.
admit it, but yeah, I've gotten better elsewhere on other obstacles, though. But that's probably my worst injury, so I haven't broken anything. I mean, I'm still skateboarding, so the
Yeah.
possibility is there, but I hope not.
Fingers
You're like
crossed.
I
You
saved. I got
don't.
saved that part.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like also seeing like the board too, like I think like another way how you were saying about like representing yourself or kind of like showing you like who you are is also like the decoration of the board. I feel like that's very true, right? Like
Yes.
yeah. I feel like have you had any like things that you go to when you go shop for your like to customize your board or anything like that? Anything specific?
It's all on size, to be honest.
Okay.
Sometimes, um, sometimes board graphics are very nice, like
Mhm.
like oh like this goes with my like whatever, like let's say it's a board graphic inspired by like a music artist and you just happen to like that music
Okay.
artist, that's cool, but it's all about size. So
Okay.
It's all about size of the wheel, size of the board, size of the truck. So, yeah, I practically go off size over looks. I do avoid some things. So if anything,
Okay.
I probably avoid things rather than look for things. So,
Oh,
I,
that's interesting. Okay.
yeah, I probably wouldn't get like black wheels. I don't know. It seems kind of beginnerish to me. Um,
I
I
know.
feel like I'm a pro. I'm sorry.
no, no, I don't know. They just give me like plastic vibes. I've had like legit black wheels, like the actual like urethane professional level, but it just I don't know. Like it's just like a skate. I think my OCD is like birthed from skateboarding because other skateboarders have OCD too. I can't do black wheels. For a board graphic, is there anything I avoid? I like them simple, so like yeah, if
Okay.
there's too much going on, I'm probably like, oh, I probably wouldn't skate this. So kind of like my clothes, I like them simple. Like this one, I would probably skate just one color. Technically, it's a
Yeah.
foil, but I've skated several boards of these. But yeah, if anything, I avoid things rather than look for things.
The
Yeah,
simpler
I
better.
just need new sizes.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's cool because it shows. It shows like and it's very true to like how you said like what you wear, but also the way you ride your
Yeah, thank
board
you.
and stuff like that. I think that's really
It's a
cool.
part of an accessory.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's an accessory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Um,
see.
so what is next for your brand? Is there anything you're working on for it?
Yeah, any new
Um,
projects or anything
uh,
like that?
I do want to make more sweatshirts now that it's cold. Um, that was really successful for me last year. And the thing about this brand, Safari Sports Brand, is I have fun with it. So of course it's nice to make money too,
Yeah.
but I don't work or I don't yeah I don't really follow the apparel rules. And what I mean by that is, you have like your like top name
Yeah.
brands that bring out collections by the season, or maybe they'll hop on this trend. And this brand reflects my actual style: simplicity, adventure. So
Love that.
funny enough, I'm not very active on it because when I feel like bringing out something is right, that's when I'll do it. So let's say I don't know, let's say snapbacks are in style. I know
Yeah.
a lot of like big name brands, whatever you see at your at your malls, at your box stores. Every brand will hop onto a trend. I don't. I'm very like I want to see myself and other people wear this color, so I'll do a hoodie in
Love
that
that.
color. So I'm very intentionally inactive. I will bring out stuff when I feel like it's ready. And to answer your question on what's next for it, I feel like right now is a good time to bring out some hoodies. So
We
last
love.
year they were a hit. I brought out two colors. It was a like a taupe sand and a royal blue. And yeah, that taupe sand did really good. People asked me for when I sold out. I make small quantities, of course. So
Okay.
when I sold out, I had more people ask about them.
Yeah.
And there's people that I don't know and I don't follow that tagged my brand. That's always amazing as well. So I'm like, oh, this person, like the hoodie, it's working. And so, but by the time where I got the hint that okay, people love the hoodies, it started getting warm. So I'm like, you know what, even though I just mentioned I don't care about the money, I also don't want to lose too much money. So I was like, okay, I'll wait till next winter, so or next fall. So yeah, right now is the time where I feel like I'm gonna bring out some hoodies. I really don't know if I'm gonna do the same colors. Maybe
Okay.
test out some new ones, but yeah, that's what's next. Make
Probably
some
olive
hoodies.
green.
I know.
will
I was
get
about to
olive
say
green.
if you get a green one in, Natalie will for sure get that one.
Love
What shade of green?
It's like between like olivey green and like a sage green. Like in like there's like a mixture of like the both. Those are my
Okay.
favorite.
And I feel like I'm literally like you. Like I prefer black, like black and white. Like look at like my belt, like
Yeah.
black. Like like I feel like it's very simple. Very like yeah. So I think that's cool.
Awesome. Yo, that's what's next for the brand. I mean, technically, I have some stickers on the way too, so I guess that's part of
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
next.
that's good. Yeah, I'm like we're gonna tag you in everything, so then that way like people could see it, people could shop it, we'll shop it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh, thank you, I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'm excited. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking time. I know you were
Oh.
like super busy.
No,
Yeah.
thank you guys. All right, guys. Thank you guys again for asking me.
Thank
It means the world.
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys so much for listening. Please don't forget to leave us a review and to share this podcast with your loved ones, acquaintances, and really just anybody and everybody who will listen.
We'll be releasing new episodes every Wednesday. Also, you can follow us on Instagram and on TikTok at We Are Fashionably Late with 2 E's at the end, and at The Digitals Podcast on YouTube for more behind the scenes content. Sending you lots of love and virtual hugs. Can't wait to see you in the next episode. Bye.